All right, I don't like to come on here and rant about things. It's not what I try to use this channel for. But I'm at my wits' end with Strava, and I need to really talk about this. I've been on Strava for a long time. My current account goes back to 2016, and I had an account before that, which I think goes back to about 2011, 12, somewhere in there. That was a cycling only account. When I started to do both, I started a new account. That was 2016. And in 2020, when they launched their subscription, I signed up because I wanted to support the company. I wanted to see where the product development went, and I wanted to be able to fund that. And I was fine doing that. It wasn't great that some of the core features went behind the paywall, but that's their business model. Fine, I get it. But the development that we've seen since 2020 just has been random to say the least. And the thing that's really pushing me over the edge where I need to kind of get this out is the new AI feature, the athlete intelligence, because every company needs AI in their product, and every company needs to come up with some cute name for their AI that has the same AI letters in it. And Strava is no different. Now, this feature is a feature that I don't think anyone asked for, but since Strava thinks it's a tech company, it's not a tech company, I'll get to that in a bit, they need to have AI in their product stack because that's what makes them look cool. That's what gets them investor money. That's what they can say we're an innovative tech company, even though they're not. So I understand why they put it there. I also understand why they put it in the product from just trying to help athletes. But the problem is it just doesn't work. And I realize that it's beta and it will get better, but it's really bad right now. Case in point, I have been doing a lot of track workouts, and these are hard rep workouts, but they're reps of like 200, 400. They're short reps. Strava doesn't recognize really any distance under 1K for the most part. So as far as Strava is concerned, I'm just out there doing an easy run with a couple kind of pickups here and there. So already the effort score that I get in Strava is super low for these workouts. But the AI now is coming in there and almost taunting me, saying that, this hard track workout that I did is now like an easy recovery. Because I'm only doing 200s, 200s, or 400s, and I'm doing like 6 or 8 by 200 and 4 or 6 by 4. Strava just doesn't see that as really effort. And the AI is just saying, great recovery run, great this. But when I add in my notes about it, which I do because my Strava is public to everyone on the channel, I want to be as transparent as I can with my data, what I'm actually doing out running. Strava then will just parrot back what I wrote in there and now update it. So it's a great recovery run with X, Y, and Z, whatever I wrote in the notes or the description of the actual run. And it's kind of insulting. On top of that, the AI feature actually slows down the app. Now, the Strava app is already a mess to begin with. The optimization of the app is just nightmarish. And I'm on a top end Apple iPhone Pro Max. My phone isn't the problem, but the Strava app is slow. And when I'm trying to refresh and load a workout, especially when I'm trying to put my notes in, I've got to wait a second or two while the AI updates and refreshes to the page, because you got to hit the AI and all the servers and all that stuff. It's just a feature that I don't want, and it slows down what's already a slow and clunky experience, let alone the UX of the Strava app, that I just want to be able to turn that off. It's a feature that, as a user, I should be able to opt into or turn off. And frankly, the only way I can figure out to turn it off is to unsubscribe, because it's a subscriber-only feature, and I'm actually going to try that week. I'm going to, for the first time, unsubscribe from Strava because I want the AI to go away. I just don't want to see it. It's frustrating me, and that's the only way I can do that. That's an insane thing to make a user do. Now, as many of you know that have watched this channel, I'm a product designer. A lot of my background in product design is digital product design, UX, strategy, that sort of stuff. And I've been part of product teams. And in product teams with a big application, you'll often have what you'll call the low-hanging fruit list. These are easy features that will improve the quality of life or the user experience for the end user that are just obvious things to do. I don't know, something like being able to sort my gear list by date added or type of shoe or how many miles I have on the shoe. Little things like that. But no, what Strava instead prioritizes is the insane features like adding this AI. Remember when they added DMs? Who wanted DMs in Strava? No one wants DMs in Strava. Any running group I've ever been associated with has their group chat in a third party application. And any running group that I'm still associated with or see still has their group chat in a third party application. No one's using DMs. And by the way, if you follow me on Strava, don't DM me. I'm not going to reply. So where do these features come from? It's kind of crazy because there's obvious improvements they could make to the app, yet they add in these features that no one wants. How long did it take them to be able to add new gear through the app? How many years did we need to ask for that? And they finally did that, which was great, but it's still clunky because it requires way too many taps to actually make work. Or dark mode. How many years did people want dark mode? They finally launched dark mode and they waved a flag like it was the biggest thing they've ever done, which is kind of sad because dark mode for an application is not a big deal. The other thing, it seems like after every update, and this isn't only Strava, I mean, a lot of apps are doing this lately, but every update in Strava, it seems like the UI changes slightly. The main nav that's at the bottom of the app changes and shifts, and now things are buried, and I go into what I really look for, and now it's 2 or 3 taps away as opposed to just being in the main nav. I just, why? Like, why is there constant, like, small changes that don't lead to anything? Because then I notice they kind of go back. And it's not just they're testing out these features with certain subsets of users. It's just one update, they'll change the main nav. Then the next update, they kind of change it back to what it was, probably because of feedback or probably because of analytics that they're seeing people are now confused. And they do that every single time. It's the product team and the way they go about adding features is just very haphazard and seemingly random. It doesn't really make sense. But that's also why I'm saying Strava isn't a tech company. Strava is actually a mapping and geodata company. That's their core product. That's what's really valuable about the Strava platform. If you've ever watched or looked at the videos and the animations that they do around the global heat maps at the end of the year every year, or you've ever watched your heat map of where you run or ride, they're brilliant. They have so much data, and the way they can, slice and dice that data, it's amazing. In fact, a few years ago when I was still in New York City, I remembered New York City working with Strava's data set to look at where they're going to add new bike lanes in Manhattan. That's a great use of Strava's core really asset. And that's what Strava really does well. But for whatever reason, because of the investor decks and all the stuff that they're trying to get all these, new rounds of investment capital, they want to position themselves as a tech company. That's why they need the AI, even though that's not really what's valuable about the product. The social layer to Strava has never really been that valuable. I mean, again, I think Facebook groups and Telegram groups and all these other groups and other third-party platforms, that's probably where most of that stuff exists, even on Instagram even. The ability to like and comment and stuff like that, that's nice, but can I edit comments? Can I have a better commenting and @ system when I want to reply to a comment? If you're a social application, can you fix that? Again, these sort of priorities are what a tech company would prioritize, but Strava is not a tech company. They're a mapping and geodata company, and that's really what's valuable. The app is a way for them to get that data, but it's not their core product, which is why the app always feels like an afterthought very often. The other issue with Strava as a tech company, the app, there's no competition. There's no one else in the space that really does what Strava does. Yes, there's other applications that will map your run and show you your data and give you analytics. There's plenty of those, but they don't have the social layer. And even if they have a social layer to them, they don't have the integration into a lot of running groups. Like virtual racing during the pandemic was something I really enjoyed. And I think that's what really, brought Strava to front and center for really every runner. Before that, I think it was just more hardcore cyclists and runners that really cared about Strava. But after the pandemic and the need to download Strava to do virtual racing, I think there's a whole new group of users that use the application. But I can only imagine how confusing it must be because they're coming in with aspirations of social layers and all the apps that they use. And that's just not Strava because everything feels kind of half baked and maybe a little broken on the social layer because they just never really have updated it or really focused on it. Again, it's not their key priority. They want you to come in, log your runs so they can get the data. And I'm not saying they're doing anything fishy with the data. It just shows that their core product, what they know is valuable, is that data, is the geolocated data that they're getting through the app across the world. And they need the app to do that, but the app, again, just feels like an afterthought time and time again. So I'm going to try a non-subscribed experience with Strava to see if that gets rid of a lot of the fluff that I just don't want in there and still allows me to access the core features, which are only really one or two things that I want to see all the time. Because my source of truth, where my data lives, is not in Strava. Strava is only there really because I have this channel and I want to be transparent with it. So I want a way of being able to broadcast what I'm doing on a daily basis. But I don't look at Strava for really anything else as far as metrics and analytics and all that stuff. I track that stuff elsewhere. And I feel like probably there's a lot of users like me that are doing that. So this experiment of a non-subscriber experience with Strava, I hope it streamlines things. I hope that I get a better experience, but I have very, very low expectations right now. Let me know in the comments what your frustrations with Strava is, or do you love Strava? Do you think they're on the right path? Are they on the wrong path? Let's talk about it in the comments. Again, I always love that here, and I feel like this is probably going to be something where people have a lot of strong opinions about it as well, and I want to know that stuff. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you find this content useful, consider subscribing. You'll see more content from me pop up in your feed. If not, drop a like on this video because it helps this channel continue to grow, which I always appreciate. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.